Alright, hey guys. This video we're going to talk about shading and how to shade. And I wanted to start you off with an example that I drew. I did find this on Google, and I kind of want to replicate some of the shadows, and it's okay to do that if you're learning. But I want to replicate some of the shadows, just kind of show you an example of how you can take the knowledge of blending and showing values and making it look three-dimensional. So take a look at that for just a second. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some exercises that let us talk about how to get to this point where we are showing values. All right. So, and this is a chain. It's just links of a chain that are enlarged. Okay. So over here, what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of examples that I did. So I have a circle and I'm showing values here. So I went dark to light, and we're going to go over all of this. And this is the rectangle, which I'm explaining gradient values. So we have dark, and then it goes to light. Okay, and you want that even transition. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do if you don't get that even transition. And then right here, this is actually a practice that we are going to do. I reference this as the tornado, and it shows you how to show values illustrating a tornado, shading a tornado. So let's start with that. All right, so you're gonna put your pencil on your paper, and you're just gonna start shading back and forth. And what I want you to do is to start dark. And then as you get to the bottom of the tornado, we're going to ease up lightly. And this is just with a pencil and a piece of paper. So if you have notebook paper and that's all you have right now, that's fine. All right, so again, and pause this video at any time if you think I might be moving too fast. So dark to light. And all tornado, well, not all, but most tornadoes can look a little bit different. All right, so I'm just gonna do a third one. So I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. All right. They look pretty good. Gradual transition. Now let's say you made your tornado. Your tornado is like dark and you're like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to ease up on the pressure. And then I do. And then right here, it looks like this. So you eased up on the pressure and you have this line. All right. When you have this line, what you can do, because you do not want this line, you want a gradual transition from dark to light, okay? So go on the other side of the line. So you could literally take your pencil and draw a line. Don't. But go on the other side of it. We're going to press down just to kind of get that color in, or that value of shade, and then we're going to ease up as we cross that line. Just kind of bring it down and let it blend. Please make sure you do that. Okay. All right. Now let's say you are someone you're like, so this is as much as I can press down. Let me ease up. And that's fine. It's just, if you realize that you're not as dark as you could be, you're going to want to layer. So you can still do the same pressure on top of itself and it'll get a little darker. Adding graphite and layering graphite on itself helps. Okay, if you find that you are very heavy-handed, I do have some people I know in this class that are heavy-handed, or that are watching this video and are heavy-handed. So you go down, you're like, it's not really changing, I don't know how to ease up on the pressure. That's fine. So what you do is you go with your eraser, you go in circles, lightly, and you just start easing up. So ease up, the more you get up to the top, you just ease up. All right, okay. All right, so over here, this circle right here, I have an arrow drawn. The arrow just kind of, for me, it helps. You want to make sure that anything you shade or even color, you want to have a light source. So here's my light source. Okay, that's my arrow. So on this circle, in order to make it three-dimensional, I need to have a light source. So let's just say my light source is a lamp. I'm just going to draw you a lamp so that way you can see that it is a light source. You don't necessarily have to do this, but just kind of, I use this as in my beginning because it helps. So I drew like the little lamp from Pixar. So he has an extra. All right, so if my light is here, then that means my shadows are over here. All right, and anytime I shade, I want to shade with the shape. So I actually like to go in circles, and that makes it consistent, and you don't see any direction in my shading. So I go dark. And then as I get to the other side, I'm going to start easing up. And then I want to go back and just kind of go slowly and lightly on top of some things to make sure I don't have any lines. And then I have a gradual transition. Now, let's say I want to put a shadow on it. Let me come right here, and I would just put a shadow on it. And I can do something like that and make it look like it's sitting on the table. You don't have to do that. It's just something my students like to do to make it look a little bit more, have that illusion. All right, so I'm gonna draw another circle. And let's say I want my shadow coming from the top. All right, so I'm gonna come here at the bottom, do it again. I'm gonna press down, I'm gonna go in circles. And then I ease up. Had a thing where I hummed. So it'd be the same thing. Okay, now let's say you're one of those people that did the lawn. So you're one of those people that did the lawn. And you have that. So there's a line right there. What I want to do, I'm going to go on the other side of that line, put just enough pressure to go over that line, and then I'm going to start easing up as soon as I cross that line. All right, so the next one we're going to draw is we're going to do a cube. All right, in a cube, you draw a square, and then you draw one line here. So I drew a square. This diagonal line, I'm going to repeat it here. So if you notice, same diagonal, and then I want to connect. And try not to draw very dark. I'm trying to make sure I draw dark enough so you can see it, but always make sure you draw your lines light, because like this, I can actually erase this and you won't see it, but this, you're going to see my lines. So draw lightly so that way you can always erase if you need to. All right, the other way to draw a cube that I think most of you know or like to do is where you overlap two squares and then you connect them. Now the difference with this is this shows that the cube is clear, and so in order to make it look like this, you can do that. That was fine. You just need to erase your lines that are going to be on the inside. So if you can do that, do that. But if not, draw your square and then make 3 exact diagonal lines. So same diagonal. The only problem with this one is a lot of people have a tendency to draw their line going straight. You don't want to do that. Okay. All right, so I want to shade. I'm actually just going to shade these two. So light source is coming this way. That means if my light source is here, then I want my shadows down here. So I'm going to go ahead and just start dark. And the reason why I'm showing you how to draw a cube and shade it is because you're going to learn how to shade each shape of an object individually, which means on this one you have 1, 2, 3 shapes. Those all need to be shaded individually. You cannot shade them all together or else it will not look right, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna make this dark. I'm gonna ease up lightly because it's my light source, so it's gonna be kind of light over here. And then, so I'm gonna go medium. This I want to be extra dark, so I'm gonna actually layer on top of it. So if my light source is here, then this means this can be a little bit light-ish. There we go. Okay, so if you don't shade all your shapes individually, this is what's gonna happen. You're like, ugh, Ms. McClaney gives me too much work. So I'm gonna go light. and doesn't look like a shape anymore. So no, don't do that, please. Shade each shape individually. It really helps a lot. All right, so let's say I want my light source to be on this side. If my light source is here, then my shadows are going to be over here. So I'm going to go dark on this side, and then I'm going to start easing up as I get across. Now again, I like to color in circles, that way there's not like this directional thing like you see right here. Okay, so color in circles, and then I'm going to show you a little trick that you can do if you're someone that's like, I really can't draw color in circles. Most of my coloring is directional. Now some people, and I've seen people that, I know this artist, he colors like this. And it's like Scribble Town. And his artwork is so amazing. And then I've seen artists that shade in one direction, and it turns out really nice. But I tend to color, I teach you to color in circles just so that way you have a chance to figure out where you want to be at some point once you figure out. So basically it's like once you learn the basics of something, then you can modify to what you want. All right, so this side's supposed to be my light source. So I'm gonna come in with my eraser because I made this too dark. So if you do something too dark, you can just go in with your eraser and go in circles and fade it out. Okay, now I will be giving you, hopefully I have enough for everybody, some of these are smudgers. You can get them from Walmart. They're called tortillas, but it's basically rolled up pieces of paper. You would just go in circles and then ease up, and it helps you smudge the graphite around on the paper. Now until then, because I'm still working on getting supplies, so if you haven't gotten your supplies already, you can actually get a piece of tissue or a piece of paper towel, and what I do is I kind of roll it just a little bit under my finger and treat it like it's a pencil. So I go in small circles, go dark, and then start easing up. The only thing with the tissue is going to be that you may have to clean up your edges. Okay, so the other thing you don't want to do is once you get into smudging, some people are like, all right, I'm done, I can turn this in, I showed values, yay. But that's not values, and that's not something I want you to turn in. So please don't do that. Okay, or what I like to do, this will actually help you a lot better. Take a piece, wrap it around your finger, but you press down wherever you went dark. So press down, and then where you went light, you just ease up. And so it makes it look a little bit more solid. So you can actually not have to worry about your pencil lines so much. Okay, so you can take the tissue. The only other thing would be like, if you are someone that likes smudging, you're like, I don't have any tissue, you can use your finger, just make sure you wash your hands first. And the reason why is because, like, I've had a long day today. I've been messing around with typing stuff up and writing lesson plans and then playing with this and playing with that, and you actually have oil on your fingers. So I'll actually smudge with my fingertips. But the problem can be sometimes is if I have oil on my fingers, it can like smear the wrong way, and then I wouldn't be able to get it off. So this part has the oil that's on my fingers. Okay, so I'm not really able to get that off. So I do recommend that you get a tissue if you're gonna blend, and blend. Remember, press down wherever you press down with pressure on the pencil, and then ease up wherever you eased up. And that is how you show values with a pencil. Okay, so I really, really recommend that you practice, make some shapes. It can be a heart, it can be a cylinder, cone. You can do the letter of your name. So I'm gonna draw my name, or my letter, and then I'm gonna make this three-dimensional. There we go. And then I'm gonna go dark to light. So I did encourage you to practice. Lead pencils. There's always a question of, can I use my lead pencil? Yes, of course you can use your lead pencil. You just want to make sure that you're careful with it because a lead pencil will actually carve into the paper. So be careful with that. A lead pencil can carve into the paper, and a lead pencil will also be a little bit darker than you want. There are some really good lead pencils out there that artists use to draw with, so. All right, and there's my initial three-dimensional and with values of a pencil. So have fun, practice. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.